What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubCamTV for this, another edition of CUBREACTS, as we continue to explore the latest new musical flavour from around the world. First of all, a massive shout out to all the brand new subscribers. It's great to see so many of you joining onto the channel. We are rocketing forward, and I cannot thank you all enough. It's given me such a great opportunity to build something here with the channel, and you guys are entirely a part of that, so thank you each and every time. Today, we are heading over to the sounds of Kidi, who actually released a track a couple of weeks ago that I completely missed. It went completely under my radar. It goes by the name Habibi, and it's off the same 4Play project as a track that we have reacted to before. Again, I'm a big fan of Kidi. I love his kind of blend, I suppose, of Afrobeats and dancehall kind of energies. He's really good at fusing those two things. And big up everyone telling me that I hadn't reacted to this one yet, because I genuinely didn't even know it was out. So there we go. I'm excited to get into it. As always, if you are new to the channel, do make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page. Make sure you are checking out the first edition of the Pull Up Radio Show. It's available on the channel and available on Mixcloud as well. But without further ado, let's jump into this one. Let's go.
I may be young, but I'm ready. So come give me the punani. You put the spell on me. You put the spell on. I'm shy. I wanna drink some liquor. I'm a bad boy.
Straight from the jump, there is just such a crass nature about the way this tune has been done lyric-wise. But that's Kidi, you know. Kidi doesn't mind kind of throwing in certain bits of language or linguistic approaches. Like, that's part of his style. And again, it does tie quite nicely into that idea, I suppose, of blending both Afrobeats and dancehall. He has this really nice combination. There's almost like a kind of island feel to a lot of his instrumentals. They all have this very kind of typical bounce. They've got a very kind of particular timbre about them as well. But this already has great energy. I can see this one doing bits in the dance. Let's go.
Tell me why your booty fat so I just see I'm for your front, baby. I just see I'm for your front. Habibi, my love. I need you to kiss me with your sugar lips.
Again, he's so good at building these vocals that have this, I don't know, there's almost like an angelic semi-nature to the way that his vocals kind of sit, which I do really like. He's really good at building these tunes up and giving the whole thing this kind of floaty, just overarching, just calm, kind of sweeping texture about them. There's a real kind of futuristic feel about a lot of the way that his tunes sound as well. The production on this is great. His vocal approach so far has been great. You get to hear the kind of delicacy and the intricacy at the same time of what he can do. It's a great way to start.
Oh, my freaky dicky girl, I need you to wind your waist, oh baby calypso. Oh, you say you want a soft life, but is your booty soft too? Talk to me nice, oh no, is your booty soft too? Baby, say what's the time?
It's a really typical thing of Kidi's sort of, I want to say musical style, to include those little one drops in the middle of tunes where the instrumental just cuts and then suddenly you just get this and then you're back in. It's such a typical thing of how Kidi tends to operate, and we've heard it on the majority of his tunes. When even the collaboration with Tiger, you hear it in that. You hear it in the more recent collaboration with Movado as well. There's a lot of those like sort of beat stops, and they're just such a good way of kind of allowing people to take a breath and then throwing them straight back into the deep end as a listener. He knows how to kind of do that with a lot of his tunes, and again, it's reminiscent of a lot of classic dancehall themes at the same time. My only qualm with this tune so far is that it's only 2 minutes long, because it means we're going to be moving towards an outro in the next sort of 30 seconds or so, which is a shame, because I'm just getting into it sound-wise, just overall as an approach. It's a shame.
Clock, she give me new name, Mr. Clock me prefer, pussycat purr. One girl give me that ride, me chauffeur. Habibi, my love. I need you to kiss me with your sugar lips.
It's a really nice backdrop of sounds going on with this, man. Like, I've heard a combination of kind of like string sounds going on, like these little kind of string flutters that are adding a lot of kind of texture and, again, emotional context, I feel, to the way the tune kind of sounds. But then you get these saxophone lines as well, which add a more kind of romantic connotation. When you kind of think of certain instruments, when you think of strings, you think emotion. When you think of saxophones, you do tend to think kind of primarily romantic sort of sounds, but also kind of general jazzy, cool flavors as well. It's really interesting seeing how this instrumental has just got loads of randomized pieces of instrumentation kind of littered around. It's a really cool way of doing it. But again, it just makes me think I wish this track had gone on for a bit longer. There's so much room to expand it and allow all these different elements to do their own thing. It's a real shame. I think it's a shame.
Babe, sit on my face, give me no space, so baby your gaze. Babe, sit on my face, give me no space, so baby your gaze. Babe, sit on my face, give me no space, so baby your gaze. Check it out, yo.
And there we go. The tune itself is actually under 2 minutes. Now, for me, this is something that I always look at and go, I don't understand why you wouldn't make it a little bit longer. Like even just adding a kind of secondary bridge or almost like a follow-up chorus, just kind of taking the chorus to a different level, just to get it to around 2 minutes 30 at least. And then, of course, then you've kind of got that room to maneuver with DJs like me. From a DJ perspective, if I was to see this and this was a 2 minute tune, I'm likely to steer a little bit clear of it because it means either side of it, I'm going to have to be super, super active getting the next tune ready. And it's just going to be a little bit of havoc, whereas there are going to be tunes that can do a similar thing to this sonically that are 2 minutes 30. And they just give you that little bit of extra breathing room. And that's not necessarily saying that I'm a lazy DJ, because I'm most definitely not. If you watch the videos, you'll see. But there's something about a tune that's under 2 minutes long that just puts DJs off a lot of the time. But that might just be me speaking. But overall, actually, as a tune, I did really enjoy this. I like the direction they took. I love the fact that the instrumental backdrop itself is just kind of scattered with these kind of different levels of instrumentation, kind of interwoven elements. You've got the strings in there, those little kind of string flutters, which do bring a kind of an additional vibrancy. On top of that as well, you then get the look at those saxophone lines as well. There's a really nice kind of potency and bounce to a lot of the drum work going on within this tune as well. And again, it really does tie into that theme that we spoke about before of Kidi's kind of fusion, I'd say, of both dancehall and Afrobeats elements. He's one of the best at doing it. Probably him and Stonebwoy, two are the best at doing it in regards to taking those sort of classic dancehall elements kind of rhythmically, drum-wise, even instrumental-wise. And I think kind of fusing them with more modernized Afrobeats textures, and you do end up with this really nice, bouncy, potent middle ground. Pato Rankin's another great example of someone who does it really well as well. And it's interesting to hear because it does give you this fusionistic window into what that sounds like. And I love hearing it because they're two genres that I absolutely adore. So why wouldn't I love it? But there we go. Guys, let me know all of your thoughts on this one in the comment section down below. Is the tune too short for you? Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the overall arrangement? Let me know all your thoughts. I know a few of you were very keen to for me to check this one out. And as always, if you are new to the channel, do make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page. Of course, turning notifications on as well, leaving a like, leaving a comment, all of that good stuff. Don't forget to make sure you are checking out the Pull-Up Show. It's available on the channel now, but it's also available via Mixcloud if you just want to do the audio listening, which is how I would recommend listening to it, to be honest with you. That's it from me, though. Hopefully you have enjoyed. We'll see you all next time. Peace.
Sounding so good right now. My they sounding a bright and
Yes, it's Kovu. Stay locked. Cooktown TV.
Your boy Slim's all fit right here, and you're locked on to the best breakfast with man like Kovu.
Yo, this is Aaron Glitch and you're tuning to the sounds of Kovu right now. You already know the thing. Bad boy selector. Alright, let's go.